everybody? It's your boy Rado Rizzo, the Shadow Kage of the Hidden Village. And today we about to do some reactions, man. First video I want to get into is the suspicious rebrand of Mark Zuckerberg. If y'all know Mark Zuckerberg, well, if y'all know social media in general, you know who Mark Zuckerberg is regardless. He's like the creator of Facebook, I'm 95% sure. But yeah, we about to watch his suspicious rebrand, and I've noticed it. You might have noticed it. I don't know, but we about to see what it's all about, man. But happy Thursday to everybody out there, man. I just got off work, took my work clothes off, well, my top off, took my work top off, threw on something a little more comfortable, and now I'm giving y'all a reaction, baby. But yeah, let's watch the suspicious rebrand of Mark Zuckerberg right here, live.
Mark Zuckerberg thinks he has you fooled. He has spent the past year suspiciously
Look at that
transforming
nerd.
his image from the geeky Silicon Valley genius to a red-pilled alpha bro. And all it took was one conversation on the Joe Rogan podcast to expose the...
Is the Joe Rogan podcast like the new launching pad for everyone's career? Like, Joe Rogan is really like low-key that guy. I know Joe Rogan from UFC. I don't really know him from like comedy or anything else, but I know he's a very successful, very funny guy, very intelligent as well. So just let me know what y'all think about that podcast. Is it good? Is it not? You know, I might check it out.
evil intentions behind Zuck 2.0. The third richest man in the world wants you to think he is just like you.
Big money.
He dresses like you. He works out like you. He likes to have fun and be silly like you. He even loves his family just like you do. Oh, and most importantly, after decades of harvesting your data and controlling the information on your social media feed, he now stands...
GG's, who uses Facebook still though? Like heavy. I still catch myself like, first app I go to is first I'll like go to like Facebook. I'll go to YouTube first and then I might go to Facebook. But like it's definitely my top 2 rotation for sure.
For lower censorship and celebrating your First Amendment right on his platforms. He wants to gain back your trust, but why? Today we are going to uncover what is really going on behind Mark Zuckerberg's new persona. Isn't it ironic that a seemingly antisocial, unrelatable Harvard genius created the framework for the future of human social interaction? If you ever heard Mark have a conversation, you wouldn't exactly mistake him for a socialite.
You seem to be replacing Larry and Sergey as the people out here who everyone's talking about. You're just staring at me.
Is that a question?
Because of his awkward demeanor, frequent glitches in speech, and beady, soulless eyes,
he do look a little weird.
Legitimately believe he is not human.
Like he acts like he don't know how to answer. Like you're like she's not being sarcastic, bro. She asked you a question, buddy.
That he is some sort of crash test dummy with AI software installed. And look, even though I try to keep my videos mostly objective and fact-based, I also love me a good conspiracy theory. And Zuckerberg not being a real human has way too much evidence for you to not even consider it just a little bit.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still. But...
Bro said I was human.
But I was just referring...
I think he just stumbled over his words. Let's give him benefit of the doubt. Everybody do that. I do that, especially on YouTube. Like, I really don't stumble over my words like I do when I'm talking to the camera. You know what I'm saying? I guess because I'm too conscious of thinking of what I'm going to say, you know?
Referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
Zuckerberg, I remember well your first visit to Capitol Hill back in 2010.
He got a little quirkiness to him now.
Control Houston, please call station for a voice check.
All right, station, this is Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. Can you hear me okay?
It's a pleasure to talk with you today.
Great to talk to you guys too. And is astronaut ice cream a real thing?
Are the allegations true that you're secretly a lizard? I'm gonna have to go with no on that. I am not a lizard.
And it makes it even harder for him to beat these allegations when he explains to Joe Rogan how basic human conversations work, as if he just made a revolutionary discovery.
Your kind of subconscious kicks in, you start thinking about the topic. So it's like you might not actually have the thing that you want to say until like 5 minutes later. Right. And like when we started this conversation, I think like the first few minutes were like just kind of slow. It's like warming up. Like, I'm like, okay, kind of.
Are you explaining it to a human? Like, we kind of already do that in our mind. But to say it, it's like explaining when you have to go take a dookie. Like, oh, it's this rumbly feeling in your stomach. Everybody knows it. It's just instinct. Why do you have to say it? You know, like, I don't know. That's very interesting, though.
Like downloading into my memory, like how am I gonna like just explain these different things? But it's yeah, no, I just think that's sort of how people work.
However, we do know that CEOs transform their image and speech to be kind of robotic on purpose. They do rigorous media training because one wrong answer, one wrong word, one wrong display of emotion can result in overwhelming
That's facts. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Could drive down the stock price and upset shareholders. But Mark's robotic demeanor has generated a vast range of conflicting opinions about him, with many believing that he is a power-hungry oligarch looking to destroy human civilization. But to understand where those suspicions came from, we must dive into the dark history of Facebook's origins.
Zuck!
Facebook was a stolen idea.
Uh-oh.
In 2004,
GG's.
Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss wanted to create a website for Harvard students to add people as friends, send them messages, and
Meet you in court, buddy. Nah, that boy probably done paid them boys off already.
update their personal profiles to notify friends about themselves. They called it Harvard Connection, which was later rebranded to Connect You, and they partnered with Mark Zuckerberg to build the website. But Mark had other plans. In leaked instant messages to a friend from his college years, Mark wrote, "So you know how I'm making that dating site? I wonder how similar that is to the Facebook thing, because they're probably going to be released around the same time, unless I f the dating site people over and quit on them right before I told them I'd have it done." He later confirmed to that friend that he planned on screwing the Winklevosses over. And
no!
He built Facebook while delaying Connect You, lying to the Winklevosses and not meeting deadlines.
Hello, 1 second again. Oh Lord. Oh, you little weasel.
If stealing their idea and sabotaging their company wasn't scummy enough, Mark also showed how conniving he truly is, attempting to destroy the Winklevoss's reputation. After he left the Connect You team, he hacked into their server, exploited a flaw in their system, and created another Cameron Winklevoss account. Before Mark admits, "We copied his account, like his profile and everything, except I made his answers all like white supremacist." Mark was extremely aware of his twisted intentions. He even
messed up.
Facebook users dumb for trusting him, and your data being in control.
What? What light?
In the living room?
I went out. Oh, the switch. I don't know. I'll figure it out in a second. I'm streaming right now.
Of someone untrustworthy may not seem like
he looked like a, I don't know, something's off about his face.
Data broker's website right now and buy anyone's data for a few bucks.
That's crazy.
Big companies with poor security are getting hacked every day, and your personal information is being sold on the dark web.
GG's.
Spammers, scammers, and identity thieves
I'm leaked.
target you.
I'm leaked.
The government can do something like ban TikTok. Why won't they protect you from these similar practices?
True.
It's on us to protect ourselves, which is why I use sponsor Aura. Aura keeps you safe online by doing all of the hard work. They will.
I was about to hit me with a NordVP. The legendary NordVP.
On your behalf. Give Aura a few weeks and you'll stop seeing your information. Patrick CC to try 15 days for server costs. $20,000 into the company and was paying for server costs, which was discovered through these leaked messages from Mark's old computer. In return, Saverin was awarded roughly a 30% stake in the company. As the vision for Facebook grew, so did the demands of building it. Mark and the other co-founders packed up and moved to Silicon Valley, the heart of tech innovation, to pour their energy into expanding the platform. Meanwhile, Eduardo moved to New York, focusing on another startup called Jaboozle. Eduardo was responsible for setting up the legal structure for Facebook, raising additional capital, and crafting a solid business plan, which he did not efficiently do according to Mark. As Facebook gained momentum, cracks in their partnership widened. Eduardo's distance from the day-to-day operations frustrated Mark, who had started collaborating closely with Silicon Valley heavyweights like Sean Parker and Peter Thiel. Eventually, Mark and his allies devised a controversial strategy through
he got the doing Jay-Z come up, man. He gotta leave a couple cats behind, bro. You gotta leave a couple cats behind when you're on that road to glory, I guess. I mean, hey, it is what it is, though.
Complex and ethically questionable legal maneuvers, they restructured the company to dilute.
What is this? What game is this?
Eduardo's
Gundam
ownership.
Wing?
His stake in Facebook plummeted from 30% to just about 4% by the time
Sheesh.
Facebook went public. But Eduardo's story didn't fade quietly into the background. Thanks to the dramatic courtroom battles that followed, his own accounts of the events in his book, and the $224 million box office hit movie The Social Network, the world had an extremely negative view of Mark Zuckerberg. Mark said that the movie, quote, made up a bunch of stuff that I found kind of hurtful.
You ever end up seeing the film, the Social Network?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. Oh, thanks. And what did you think?
It was interesting.
Interesting. You know what? I'll take it.
Now, some people look at Mark's past as nothing more than a cocky 19-year-old kid making teenage mistakes.
Oh no now. You're a grown man. You're a grown man. Take accountability, but hey.
While others feel that this is an extremely concerning origin story for the man who currently has control over the privacy of 3 billion people around the world. Mark has fought relentlessly to maintain an incredible amount of power at Facebook. He quite literally cannot be fired. While he only owns about 13% of the company, he also personally controls nearly 60% of the voting power of Facebook shares, because there are two kinds of Facebook stock. The Class B shares that Zuckerberg and other insiders own have 10 times the voting rights of Class A shares.
Oh, Lord.
Because of Mark's shady past and immense power, the press put a little bit of pressure on him. However, Mark refused to give straight answers, particularly when it came to privacy. Like in 2010, when he was asked a very simple question and began to sweat profusely, panicking for seemingly no reason.
Do you feel like it's a backlash, or do you feel like you're violating people's privacy? Do you feel like you're adequately portrayed as a... Because I want to wonder about the person who actually created this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of stuff happened along the way. I think, you know, there were real learning points and turning points.
He's scrambling for answers right now. His little brain is on fire, bro. His brain is on fire right now, trying to come up with something that makes some kind of sense.
Along the way, in terms of building things, I can't go back and change the past. I can only do what we think is the right thing going forward.
So, before we move off this privacy thing, and
he really is sweating, bro.
It's okay. You want to take off the hoodie?
You know, I never take off the hoodie.
I know you don't. What's with that?
No.
Girls?
Whoa.
all right.
Sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
Maybe I should take off the hoodie.
But what exactly was he hiding?
Yeah.
Maybe the main driver of his revenue. Since Facebook is a free service, they make nearly all of their revenue by selling advertisements.
Oh, Lord.
The surface-level business model is relatively simple. The more time users spend on the app, the more ads they can show. Therefore, the goal is to keep growing the user base and keep people on the app.
And everybody know, if you say something loud enough, it'll pop up on your Facebook, so they listening. I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I know this for a fact. I can say Nike loud and my phone gonna hear it and it's gonna show up on my Facebook. So it is some weird things going on, Zuck.
As long as possible.
Just saying.
The amount of data that they collect about you in order to show you these ads is not only ethically questionable, it's borderline surveillance.
Facts.
They receive your credit score, your IDs.
Oh, Lord hammers.
Political and religious beliefs, all of your text messages, microphone access, web browsing history. They quite
ain't no way. What did I just say? Microphone access. What did I just say? I bet you they caught me on video taking a dookie one time. I guarantee it. They probably got camera access too, they just didn't say it.
Entire life just because you want to use their app and they want to sell you specialized advertisements. Then again, you did agree to their terms of service and you do have the ability to opt out. But the practices they use to keep you on the app is nearing psychological warfare. In 2016, a whirlwind of chaos erupted. We had the most turbulent presidential election in history, the Brexit referendum, and billions of people spending more time than ever before online.
Yeah.
Facebook decided to change the way their algorithm works. more.
Oh, Lord.
Mark wrote in an update letter, "We will also prioritize posts that spark conversations and meaningful interactions between people. To do this, we will predict which posts you might want to interact with your friends
my
about
goodness.
and show these posts higher in feed." Now, the problem was what the algorithm deemed as the most meaningful content. For the most politically oriented 1 million American users, nearly 90% of the content that Facebook shows them is about politics and social issues.
Yep.
Combine that with an even bigger problem, political and social issues that made people angry were designed to reach the tops of people's feeds. The algorithm had assigned reaction emojis, including the angry emoji, 5 times the weight of a simple like, according to company documents.
Ooh. So, if a post is pissing people off, they'll show it to more people because they know it can get more engagement. That's crazy. It gets more weight than a like. So they hate you more than they love you. That's what gets you more pull. That is crazy, bro.
This meant that millions and millions of people were essentially trapped in an echo chamber of argumentative content about political and social issues. But it gets worse. A private company with sinister intentions was able to obtain private data from Facebook due to inadequate oversight. Remember those goofy personality quizzes you'd see back in the day on Facebook? Well, chances are if you took one, you helped fuel political propaganda. Alexander Kogan created an app called This Is Your Digital Life.
Oh my goodness.
The app was presented as a personality quiz that required users to be logged into Facebook to take. So not only did it collect the quiz data, but also all of the personal information that Facebook takes from you. The app also accessed data from users' friends without their explicit consent. Kogan harvested information from up to 87 million Facebook profiles.
I'm gonna have to cut back on my Facebook usage because of this. I think that's a violation of one of my rights, Zuck. So, yeah, buddy, GG's, it was nice knowing you, pal. For real.
And sold the data to Cambridge Analytica, who then created psychological profiles of Americans for targeted political advertising, deep diving into their exploitable traits obtained from Facebook likes.
The Kenyatta campaign, which we ran in 2013 and 2017.
Hey, Zuck, you're a monster, champ. Straight up.
For Kenyatta.
And what you have done in the Kenya?
We have rebranded the entire party twice, written their manifesto, done 2 rounds of 50,000 surveys.
Huge amounts of research, analysis, messaging.
And then we'd write all the speeches and we'd stage the whole thing. So just about every element of his...
That's big, hey!
Vehemently denies.
Hey, Chad, that's big business right there, though. They slimy. The higher up you go, the slimier you get. You can't keep your hands clean for too long. You're making all that money. And it's just being real, bro. That's how it gets down.
That social media contributes to political radicalization or polarization.
Yeah.
This conversation and the actual research that has been done on this, which by and large finds that social media is not a large driver of polarization. So the question is, what are the unique phenomena in the different places? And I think for the people who are trying to say, hey, social media is the thing that's doing this, I think that clearly doesn't hold up, because social media is a phenomenon that is pretty much equivalent in all of these different countries.
Now, in all fairness, this is exactly how we would expect him to respond. But this raises an even more important question. Is it Facebook's civic responsibility to regulate these radical individuals' behavior? Or is it the user that needs to take accountability for their own actions and beliefs?
True. I do preach accountability, so true. I can't put it all on Facebook. I'm just saying. You know, you did your part by making up, you know what I'm saying? Making the Facebook first off and also engaging in certain things. So, hey.
Their fault if they are being psychologically manipulated by algorithms.
Facts.
Or more importantly, are these politically charged posts even being made by real people? Yes, Facebook is a private company, but have they become too big, too powerful? 65% of America uses one of Meta's products. Therefore, they have direct influence over 2/3 of the country.
Woo!
This resulted in Facebook getting slammed in the media, specifically blaming them for spreading political misinformation that they believe led to the election of Donald Trump.
What?
I was really worried from the beginning about basically becoming this sort of decider of what is true in the world, right? That's like kind of a crazy position to be in for billions of people using your service.
So the company invested in a complicated bureaucratic operation of independent third-party fact-checkers globally who are certified through the Nonpartisan International Fact-Checking Network. Unfortunately, this system wasn't deemed to be good enough or accepted by really anyone, but more.
I think it's pretty flawed, and also I feel like sometimes you can't even post your opinion without it being fact checked. Like, what is an opinion? What, like, come on, bro, freedom of speech. Come on now, it ain't like, as long as it ain't hate speech or harmful speech. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, bro. People gotta live with it.
More specifically, the US government. So they called Mark Zuckerberg in for a congressional hearing in regards to Facebook's privacy and use and abuse of data, and this could not have gone any worse for Mark Zuckerberg. His robotic speech was worse than ever. He was looking incredibly nervous, looking like he had to remind himself that humans have to blink and drink water occasionally. He sat on a booster seat to make himself appear taller. His face was pale white. His eyebrows were non-existent. He had a terrible haircut and there was no soul in his eyes. He looked like an avatar of himself, and it was creepy. But what he said was even worse than how he looked.
Senator, I think as a general principle, I think protecting minors and protecting their privacy is extremely important. And we do a number of things on Facebook to do that already, which I'm happy to get into.
And I appreciate it. I'm talking about a law. I'm talking about a law. Would you support a privacy bill of rights for kids where opt-in is the standard? Yes or no?
Senator, I think that's an important principle. And
I appreciate that.
And I think we should.
Do we need a law to protect those children? That's my question to you. Do you believe?
You try to shorten it down and say yes or no, and you're talking in circles, bro. Just say yes or no. I hate when people do that, bro.
We need a law to do so. Yes or no?
Senator, I'm not sure if we need a law, but I think that this is certainly a thing that deserves a lot of discussion.
I couldn't disagree with you more. We're leaving.
Like usual, he couldn't give a straight answer. He is a professional corporate question dodger.
Do they provide the same service you provide?
In different ways, different parts of it, yes.
This way. If I buy a Ford and it doesn't work well and I don't like it, I can buy a Chevy. If I'm upset with Facebook, what's the equivalent product that I can go?
Wait!
Fantasy 14 online.
He's spitting. Hold up.
Sign up for it.
Hold up.
Different parts of it, yes.
Let's run that back.
And it doesn't work well and I
back.
Like
So you can buy Ram.
Chevy.
You can buy Chevy.
If I'm upset with Facebook, what's the equivalent product that I can go sign up for?
Well, there's the second category that I was going to talk about.
I'm not talking about categories.
Oh boy, he should win the Heisman, boy. He dodging them questions like Neo off the Matrix. Oh my goodness.
Talking about is there real competition you face?
Yes, Senator. The average American uses 8 different apps to communicate with their friends and stay in touch with people, ranging from texting apps to email.
Which is the same service you provide?
Well, we provide a number of different services.
Is Twitter the same as what you do?
It overlaps with a portion of what we do.
You don't think you have a monopoly?
It certainly doesn't feel like that to me.
So after 5 hours of painstaking investigation, the American people learned basically nothing about how Facebook works, what they do with user data, and it did not immediately result in changes in legislation. However, in regards to the Cambridge Analytica scandal, in 2019, the Federal Trade Commission fined Facebook $5 billion for privacy violations. Facebook stole your data, and the government got a payday.
It's tough to be at the other end of that.
What was it like?
Well, it's not good. I think. Well, the thing that I think is actually the toughest, though, is it's global, right? So, and really, when you think about it, the U.S. government should be defending its companies. I do think that the American technology industry is a bright spot in the American economy. I think it's a strategic advantage for the United States that we have a lot of the strongest companies in the world. I think it should be part of the U.S.'s strategy going forward to defend that.
But it was about to get worse. If you thought the world was chaotic during the 2016 election,
politicians,
in comparison to the 2020 pandemic, people were locked inside, petrified of getting sneezed on, the virus death toll seemed to be exponentially increasing, and different information came out every day about the proper protocol to stop the spread. Zuckerberg 100% confirmed suspicions that the government was pushing a controlled narrative about the pandemic.
While they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who is basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were honestly true. Right, I mean, they basically pushed us and said anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is inarguably true.
Now, at the time, if you thought mass censorship was happening, you would have been called a conspiracy theorist. But today, Mark seemingly has the confidence to criticize the US government, specifically criticizing the Biden administration after
I'm not gonna say nothing about this. I just want to pause right there to make people think about what just happened.
after they lost the 2024 election.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
This is what "I'm sorry, I want to be on the winning side" looks like. Many people believe that Zuckerberg is pandering to the renaissance of private citizens demanding less censorship and less government control over information.
True.
He's shifting all of the blame to the Biden administration that is no longer in power and being like, oh my god, the government is so corrupt, right guys? But he isn't just blaming the government. He is also blaming the third-party fact-checking organization he hired for bias.
Facts.
This has resulted in a major change.
How you gonna get mad at something that you put in place?
In content policy on Facebook.
First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and
Facts.
replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
One of Meta's fact-checking partners responded to this saying they used Meta's tools to submit fact checks and followed Meta's rules that prevented the group from fact-checking politicians. Meta ultimately decided how to respond to the fact checks at
We can't fact check. Oh, you can't fact check politicians. Those the ones that tell the most lies, bro. Them be the ones that tell them the biggest lies. So that don't make no damn sense.
labels, limiting the reach of some content, or even removing the posts. This, again, just furthered the idea for people that he is trying to absolve himself or his employees of any blame for being a part of the machine used to control narratives, amplify hate, suppress facts, and ultimately divide Americans. And whether or not this is a clever smokescreen or a genuine concern, it is clear that Mark does understand some major shifts in public discourse.
They trust the creators and the voices that they feel like are being authentic and giving them valuable information on there. So
That's true.
I think going to be just this whole new class of creators who basically become the new kind of cultural elites that people look at and are like, okay, these are the people who give it to me straight. I think that's a thing that is, maybe it's possible because of social media.
But why does Mark all of a sudden feel like he needs to speak out against these issues? He says it's not because of the election, but then immediately contradicts that by saying how they tried to make company decisions based on whatever the mainstream opinion is.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I think a lot of people look at this as like a purely political thing. It's because they kind of look
I think he's just getting ahead of the curve before the big migration shift from people who want control and people who don't want control over freedom of speech. I think he's just trying to get ahead of that curve, bro, to be real with you. I don't think he really cares because, like I say, he did it before. He did it previously. So,
either, right? It's like
it's the pot calling the kettle black, but you know.
Like a great time to do this. It's,
right. And you want to do it a year later.
Yeah, it's like there's no good time to do it. There's, and whatever time is going on, there's going to be. The good thing about doing it after the election is you get to take this kind of cultural. Like, okay,
he's trying to be on the winning side. He just said it. No, you just said it. No, cut it out. Cut it out.
That reflect,
I want to hear.
Shifting gears after an election cycle isn't exclusive to Facebook. Businesses of this size are always cautiously straddling a fine line between opposing ideologies, doing their best to stay attractive in a turbulent political climate.
That's right.
But many believe that the only reason his perfectly timed shift in ideology is even remotely believable is because of his physical transformation. That this is all a highly calculated PR campaign.
Yeah.
Nobody would buy a single word he is saying if it was coming from the empty-eyed, pale-skinned, horrible haircut, and robotic speech Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
The last time he tried to relate to us mortals...
He tried to look cool, bro. Like, he tried to look cool so he could be more trustworthy. He tried to look like, you know what I'm saying? Like a Rock or a Conor McGregor or Joe Rogan. Like somebody trustworthy because they look like us. That's what he's trying to do. Because he's like a nerd. He like a dork back then. Everybody know that. So he's trying to make himself look more like, hey, I'm one of the bros. I drink beer. I'm Christian. I'm red pill. You know, that's kind of the ideology he's trying to give off. And you can't fool me, bro.
Made him look
you can't fool me.
I like racing. I don't know how many of you guys like doing that, but that's, you know, I feel like all these activities, grilling meats, racing cars, are probably.
What? Oh, I like lifting weights. I like girls with big tits. I like chugging beers. That's the basic man thing that women think men like. What are you talking about? You sound like you just realized life, bro. Like you just came to being conscious.
That you can do. So yeah.
So he traded in the prim and proper cut for some modern messy curls.
What?
Replaced the boring gray shirts for an oversized boxy fit streetwear tee and a long gold.
I start nursing school in
Bro, it's weird.
I sent off my application. I ran it through Grammarly. I graduated with my bachelor's.
Chain, but it doesn't stop at the surface. Mark even ditched the sedentary office lifestyle.
Dang! This y'all is no tall, boy. Look at him. He tall as hell. He about 6'4", ain't he? He a big dude.
Action-packed world of mixed martial arts.
That just makes you think freaking, what's his name? Shama. What's his name? I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about. He's huge. He makes Adesanya look like a baby. Straight up.
Some of the most lethal fighters in the world. He often posts his black eyes and injuries and even says that he would like to one day compete in a real MMA match. Suddenly, he becomes less of an enigma and more like someone you might meet at a local gym. Grappling with the same struggles and setbacks as any aspiring athlete. He has expressed a newfound love for hunting. He even vowed that he will only eat meat that he has killed himself. And with this transformation, Mark thinks he has you fooled. He thinks that you can't tell that this is a PR campaign.
Yeah, it is.
But when you're fighting, it's like, no, that's like, I think in some ways when people see me competing in this sport, they're like, oh no, that's the real Mark. It's like, because it goes back to all the media training stuff we were talking about when I'm going and giving my sound bites for 2 minutes. It's like, no, it's like, fuck that guy. It's like, that's the real one.
But why does he need you to like him or trust him?
He trying to sell something.
The world.
He trying to sell us something.
He has over 3 billion people using his products. What more could he possibly need? Well, it could be argued that he is only now contributing to the narrative that our current world is borderline dystopian in hopes that those listening will flee to a world that he created. A world metaverse. Zuckerberg rebranded the company as Meta on October 28th, 2021, and conveniently during the heat of the pandemic, he revealed a new plan for an embodied internet experience, explaining it as a way to inside of
VR gives me headaches. Not happening, bro. Not happening.
Or one with the content rather than viewing it on a screen.
Yeah. Nah. I'm good, G.
All right. Perfect.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark? Whoa, we're floating in space? Uh-huh. Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a crater I met in LA.
This place is
amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
In true Zuckerberg fashion, he didn't create the metaverse. He just stole the name
Yep.
to make everyone think it was his brainchild. The metaverse is more of a general description of any immersive virtual world where people can work, play, and socialize.
He gonna steal it.
Roblox and VRChat are considered metaverse platforms. However, Facebook's version is called Meta Horizon Worlds, and it's an abysmal failure. Most people think this is just a bad video game with no storyline, no purpose, and horrible graphics. But Mark Zuckerberg genuinely believes that this is the future of human civilization, that we will all one day work, socialize, and play in this reality that he
Dunder Mifflin.
After
Right,
investing
Office.
$36 billion into this new venture, Horizon was only used by about 200,000 monthly users at its peak. Since
Hell
then,
no.
it's been dropping
That's
in
such a
user
game, I
base
bet.
drastically. They got so desperate for new users that in August of 2024, they lowered the age gate to 10-year-olds, hoping to
What?
get the unsupervised youth addicted to his platform.
Nah.
But despite VR not going exactly to plan, Meta recently launched Orion, their augmented reality glasses that merge the digital and physical landscape.
He going against what he was just arguing with the other guy about. Like, you gotta protect the kids, man. You try to profit off the children. You a sicko.
Because right now, because I mean, right now we have our phones, but we're like it takes you away from like the physical environment around you. You're kind of like sucked into this little screen. I think now in the future, our computing platform, as it becomes more of like a glasses or eventually contact lens form factor, the internet is going to get overlaid on the physical world.
And if you can get past the big goofy frames, this does seem like really cool technology that has been glamorized in sci-fi movies for decades. But all it took was a couple motivated college students to show the dystopian dangers that these glasses provide.
We built glasses that let you identify anybody on the street.
To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few
Oh,
seconds,
no.
personal information.
Bro, don't. No, bro. No, bro. That's too far, bro. Ain't no way, dog. For real. That's too much. That's too much. That's invasion of privacy.
Pops up on your phone.
Right. This is me volunteering. June Lee, right?
Nah, ain't no way, bro.
You're This photo was creepy. This is like from You're from Bergen County.
Yeah, that's creepy, bro. Nah. I ain't with that.
Name is June.
If that's what two bored college students could create, imagine what a $268 billion company could do.
Nah.
But the only thing Zuckerberg believes in more than the metaverse is artificial intelligence. Mark dubbed 2023 the year of efficiency, with Meta relying on more and more AI, which has resulted in tremendous layoffs. 86,482 people worked for Meta in 2022. Today, 67,317 people.
That's insane, bro.
That is 19,195 layoffs, or a 22% decrease in the workforce. But Zuckerberg thinks that this is actually a positive thing for humanity, that they will have more time to
having a
To do what?
store,
Be poor?
a brick and mortar store, keeping track of inventory was
be creative.
A lot.
Be creative about what? People need jobs to buy food. Creativity don't pay no bills, baby.
A lot of the code in our apps and
You're weird, Zuckerberg.
is actually going to be built by AI engineers instead of people engineers. But I don't know. I think that'll augment the people working on it. So I mean, my view on this is like the future, people are just going to be so much more creative and are going to be freed up to do kind of crazy things.
And despite his relentless push
Like
for
what?
more AI
Build-
and VR, despite him
Like what? Build social media sites? No, the AI is gonna do it. Make cars? No, the AI is gonna do it. No, you're not making sense, bro. You're dancing around the question and answer.
to fuse computers and humans together so that they are one master
Nah,
species.
nah.
The scariest thing that Mark Zuckerberg is doing is spending all of his time learning the most primal human skills. Take one scroll on Mark's Instagram and he is constantly posting from his isolated island ranch in the middle of the ocean, hunting, fishing, raising cattle, and learning how to defend himself. It's almost like he is preparing for a catastrophic event. He spent $187 million on 1,600 acres of land on the island of Kauai. This island is also not dependent on tourism, which means that it is currently self-sustaining and survivable. But even if it's not, he is building a 5,000 square foot underground bunker complete with its own energy and food supplies. He even shared a video to his Instagram of a massive movie theater built underground, so at least he won't be bored.
You do have a bunker there. Is there something you know that we don't?
No, I think that's just like a little shelter under, and it's like a basement.
Little shelter. What are you worried about?
A billionaire who can artificially control the information of 3 billion people is not your friend. Mark likely doesn't want to connect with others in the metaverse, but he does want you and your kids there. And the money that you make for him will be used to keep himself isolated on one of the most beautiful, resource-abundant wonders of the world. He will spend his days having deep conversations with friends, singing songs to his children around a campfire, cooking feasts for his pack using antibiotic-free cattle that they raised, and fresh produce with 0 chemicals and preservatives. He will hunt, fish, fight, and learn how to build things with his hands. He will breathe fresh air, drink fresh water, and enjoy all the precious God-given resources in an age-old utopia. You, on the other hand, will own nothing, live in perpetual debt, spend nearly 100% of your time in the virtual world chasing pleasure while your physical body withers away. Artificial intelligence will operate as an untouchable ruling controlling every facet of existence, optimizing society for profit while suppressing what little remains of human autonomy. You will be trapped in a dystopian hellscape, and you will love it.
Bro, that's one. I said, bro, that's one hell of a ball drop. Mark Zuckerberg, hey, we gotta stop Mark Zuckerberg, bro. For real, I don't matter want to live like that, man. But hopefully you enjoyed that video, man. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Tell me what you think about Zuckerberg. Is this still true? Is this true, man? Huh? Is it true, man? Should we cancel that fool, man? Just let me know, man. Just let me know. But that'll be the end of the video. Till next time, it's your boy Rizzo, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.